Hey everyone, Pastor KP here, your friend and neighborhood pastor. Hope everything is all right with you. Hope you're staying strong in the Lord. Welcome to Free Doulos TV. This is my YouTube channel. Thanks for the support. Thanks for sharing the information that I've been putting out on here. And yeah, keep doing that. Leave a comment as well. Appreciate it. All right. So I'm here to comment on the Conrad Vine video that I shared. I uploaded on here and shared it, right? And if you didn't know, well, now you know. And if you're new, well, just a reminder, right? I think that video is that Pastor Vine did, Pastor Conrad Vine from the Village Seventh-day Adventist Church in Barron Springs, Michigan. I went there, I used to visit the church when I was in the seminary, right? Let's see here. So, he said a lot of things in there, and I appreciate the fact that he said those things. A lot of things I agree with. I think the Adventist Church needs to be more transparent in terms of the way it does things. So he is talking about the immunization statement that came out in 2015, April of 2015, and then let me see here. Let me go to it. It's the reaffirming the Seventh-day Adventist Church's response to COVID-19. And of course, in the middle of the pandemic, we're dealing with the vanilla, as I call it, the vacation, the jab, and the stab, right? The needle, the shot, or shots now. Okay, so and this reaffirmation document came out in October 25th of 2020, and of course I was shocked. I was shocked when I saw it, when I read it, and I encourage individuals. I shared it with some individuals, and I encourage you to read it as well if you have it. I'll put it in another video, because I'm going to comment on it by itself, right? So this whole pandemic with the vanilla and the mandates around the vanilla has really created a polarized society, right? Adventist Church is not excluded. Okay, so Pastor Vine is dealing with the first part. He spoke about a whole lot of things, but the first part of the video, he spoke about, how the Adventist Church work in terms of the different levels and how things are brought up to the top, top being GC, right, or something like that. So church, church, and then it goes to conference, and from conference, union to the division, and then all the way up top. All right. In terms of the immunization, I'm trying to get it here. Let me go get the immunization. I don't want to read it. I can always upload it so you can be reminded about it, right? But it was voted on by the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Administrative Committee in Silver Springs, Maryland. So his contention is that that body did not have the power to vote this or to put this out on behalf of Seventh-day Adventists because they didn't have the proper representation. It is quite possible that this body was given the responsibility to do some things, but I don't know. I really don't know the full scope of this committee, the dynamics involved in what they have done, what they're able to do. I don't know, right? So Pastor Vine could be right. He could be wrong, right? But it was done, and the extension or the expansion rather of this comment now comes in the reaffirmation document that individuals know about, and that was sent out on October the 25th, 2021, right? Employers have used, I've gotten some reports on that, and I'm sure Pastor Vine has gotten some as well, used this reaffirmation document or even our immunization document to pretty much deny Adventists their jobs or an exemption for the vanilla, right? Saying that your church believes in the vanilla. Yes, but the individual doesn't. And you know, the point is they're using this thing as a weapon now. They've weaponized the Adventist statement. Babylon took the Adventist statement and they're weaponizing it. It also known as OSHA, right? Or whoever. I don't know. We don't eat pork. We believe in the second coming of Jesus Christ. We believe we don't we have a certain interpretation when it comes to state of the dead, all these different things. I don't ever hear employers digging into these things, but since 2020, 2021, of course, the whole world was turned upside down. All of a sudden, they know what Adventists say about immunization and vanilla, right? That's incredible. And our leaders, of course, when they voted this thing, I don't, of course, you know, they can't see the future. So they didn't think that, maybe they didn't think that this would be weaponized. But you know what? When it's not far-fetched in terms of what Pastor Vine said. Yeah, it's not far-fetched, because in the Adventist church, what happens is that at various levels, whether it's a church level, conference level, union level, division level, mistakes are made all the time because we don't follow the proper processes, or we have checks and balances, and sometimes, you know, people find ways of skirting around these checks and balances and these processes, and we end up in big problems. As I'm talking, you are a part of a church or a part of a conference or a union, whatever the case is. So you might be you might even be thinking of something that happened in your church, conference, union, or division, that really, you know, cost that church a lot of money, that conference a lot of money, that union a lot of money, right? A building project that the church got involved in, and they didn't consult the church board, or they didn't talk to the church in business. You know, a pastor or a leader decided that he was just going to go ahead without having the proper information, doing the proper research, right? Being transparent in what he's doing, or this leader is doing, right? You know, a lot of times the conference level, you know, presidents are supposed to consult with a team, the executive committee, and they don't do that because they believe that they can do whatever they please and they have authority to do whatever, right? And it's almost like they believe it's an insult for them to consult with a team. It happens all the time in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So, you know, for in terms of what he said, it's not far-fetched at all. It's not. It's not. And Adventists are very compliant in terms of you know, things that happen a lot of times. You know, sometimes we just want to, we pay the money to get rid of the problem. You know, we don't want to embarrass the person that put the church or the conference or whatever in the problem, and you know, we just leave it alone, brush it off to the side, right? But here we have, with this particular statement here, worldwide, every Seventh-day Adventist, oh yeah, you know, we believe in this, and because we believe in this, you know, there's just no help for you. And please return your tithe and free will offering. You know, like I said, I'm not going to make this video long, but let me say this. The amount of hurt that Adventists, a lot of Adventists are feeling, disappointment, shame, and embarrassment, right? Since 2020 and 2021, because of this document, or just because of the church's stance in terms of the whole situation. And you have the defenders, you know, individuals out there defending, yes, you know, those who got the shots, those who got the vanilla, right? Or those who didn't, but they believe that the church has a right to do it. You know, it's just weird. It's just a mixed bag of situations here, a mixed bag of a lot of things. But, you know, in terms of what he said, I agree. If Adventists were hurt, number one, I think I agree that this should just get rid of this thing, especially the reaffirmation one. Get rid of it. It's not doing us any good at all. No, I think we can, and even if you keep it, we should come out and say we're going to support our members. Yeah, the ones that are supporting the church with their hard-earned money, they're being fired. How are they going to support the church? And quite frankly, right? Maybe this is something else I'll say in other videos. I personally don't believe God was a part of this. The especially with the reaffirming one that came out in October. Yeah, problems, huge problems, right? And he made he spoke about that as well, as far as he call it an ad hoc committee or ad hoc group. So yeah, he called for, let's see here, withdraw the statement, apologize, and make restitution. Yeah, if for our leaders, if you are um, oblivious to all of this, I'm surprised, because it's not about being polarized or people being against the shots. It's just the disappointment that a lot of Adventists. I've had to counsel quite a few people, you know, talk to them, encourage them, because you know they're looking at the world and what the government is doing overnight, lockdowns, you know, like I said, firing people, threatening to take away their livelihood, right? And all, and you know, we're just mum on it. And I think we got to do better in terms of how we've dealt with you know, the pandemic and these mandates, not just in Canada or the United States, but all over the world, right? So just wanted to share my thoughts. Other things will come, other videos will come, but just wanted to put it out there in terms of, I agree that we need to support our members. We need to support our members. I don't agree with some of the things that was said here, and we shouldn't be carrying water for Babylon. We should not be carrying water for Babylon. Babylon doesn't need any help when it comes to subduing people, oppressing people, abusing people, and pressuring people, persecuting people. They don't need any help from us. All right. All right. Just wanted to share these few comments with you. Until next time. All right. Keep holding on to your God, right, and stay encouraged. Only what you do for Christ will last. Stay blessed.